وخاتم النبيين وحجة رب العالمين المنتجب في الميثاق المصطفى في الضلال المطهر من كل آفة البريء من كل عيب المؤمل للنجاة المرتجى للشفاعة المفوض إليه دين الله. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة زينب وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، فما كان الله ليظلمهم ولكن كانوا أنفسهم يظلمون. آمنا بالله، صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the hastening appearance of Imam صاحب العصر والزمان، أرواحنا وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء، loud صلوات. الله For your well-being and the well-being of your family, another louder salawat. Allahumma salli ala. Being true to oneself, that is the key to success. If a person is true to himself before the others, they will be successful in life. When we talk about death, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam used to say to his ashab, اذكروا هادم اللذات. قالوا وما هادم اللذات يا رسول الله؟ قال الموت. Remember the demolisher of desires, of pleasures. They said, what is that? He said, death. Death is the end of all that is the pleasure of desires. That we all have different ideas in life. I want to achieve such and such. I want to buy such and such. I want to be such and such. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. But we remember death as much as possible as we can. We start to forget sometimes. He said to angel of death, it's narrated in Bahar al-Anwar, if death is near me, remind me. The angel of death said to him, okay, no problem, I will remind you. Years passed. During that time, he lost his father, he lost his friend, his neighbors. Years later, after the agreement, suddenly he saw in front of him the angel of death. Why are you here? Business or pleasure? I'm here for business. I'm here to take your ruh away. Didn't we agree? There was an agreement between us that you will remind me. He said, I did. I did many times. Well, there's nothing. There was no email. There was no SMS. There was no letters. Nothing like that. I did remind you many times. He said, when was that? He said, your father passed away. Your cousins, your friend, your family members. You think death comes to them and forgets you? You think it's for them and it's not for you? No. It comes to them and one day it will be for you. And now it's time to go. They asked Imam Zain al-Abidin wa Sayyid al-Sajidin Ali ibn al-Hussein, Ya Sayyidi wa Mawlai, why is it some people's eyes are open when they pass away? You see some dead, the deceased, the eyes are wide open and some are shut. They asked this from Imam Zain al-Abidin, our fourth Imam. The Imam replied, he said, when the angel of death comes, he will not give them a minute, a moment. That millisecond, how long does it take for you to open and close your eyes? No, that's it. Khalas. Fi aman Allah. Your expiry date has come. You have to go. I have to go? Give me 1 second. Let me open my eyes, see my family members for the last time. But no, that is the reality of death. Al-mawtu haqq. There is a conversation between Salman al-Muhammadi and a deceased member. When Salman came to Mada'in, he came to the graveyard, to the cemetery, And he called out, Assalamu alaikum ya ahla la ilaha illallah. There was no reply. He said, Assalamu alaikum ya ahla la ilaha illallah. I ask you to respond to me. One of the dead responded back. He said, Wa alaikum assalam. What is it you want? It's a long conversation. He said to him, how do you find death? How was death, the journey of death? Because when it comes to us going overseas, if I want to go to Lebanon, for example, I want to go to Ziyarah. We go first to the travel agent. We ask him to book us a flight. What time? We always note. What date? When I have to go to the airport. We make our program exactly right that I don't miss the flight. And the luggage has to have everything that I need. The toothbrush. They tell you, look, brother, you will find everything there. Don't worry. No. The luggage has to be full. That I don't miss anything. I don't need one, maybe 2 or 3, but I need 4. Sometimes I put 4 pieces of clothes just to make sure that I'm all set. And this is going overseas. Safar for a month or 2, and we come back. And we make that organizing, and we organize the program so much that we don't lose anything. I check the ticket many times. Brother, are you taking me to the airport? What time are you coming? 1 hour before we call the person. Half an hour. Brother, you have to be here. See? This is for the safar, that it's in the dunya. What about the safar of akhirah? Safar of akhirah. So he said to this deceased, and this was one of the good people. He said, how do you find it? How was it? Al-Maut. And he started describing to him. He said, for me, death was like the pain. How can I describe it to you, Ya Salman? Ya Salman, the best way to say it to you is this. It was like a sword that has thousands of sharp edges cutting through my, flesh. Slowly and slowly and slowly. When angel of death came to me, I was sleeping next to my wife, and I said, who are you? I'm angel of death. Why are you here? To take you away. I was screaming, but she can't hear me. I was looking at her, but she can't see me. Screaming, asking her to help me. And I was taken away. And that's a reality. When the time comes, nothing is there to help us except one. That's amal al-khayr. That's what you do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you do something for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see the result for it because you do it solely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is your luggage. That's what you take away. Now some people, they go buy the most expensive brands that the market can offer, drive the best cars, live in a beautiful house. A friend of mine told me the other day, Sayyid, I have a magazine that is 1,200 pages that has the picture and types of doorknobs. Just doorknobs. Only he's building a house. Habibi, who are you building it for? Be real. For yourself? Yes, Sayyid, I want to be comfortable in it. Couple of years and that's it. Let's be real for once. To ourselves. We do much to build this life. We are so occupied. We are so consumed by life that we forget the other life. Is that me saying this? No. Allah Azza wa Jalla in the Quran al-Karim says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhaakum at-takathur. Alhaakum at-takathur. Alhaakum means what? It made you so occupied, life has consumed you, that you come and the only thing you think about, how can I increase my money? How can I increase the properties I have? How can I increase such and such and such? This is all you think. Hatta zurtum al-maqabir. Zurtum al-maqabir. When you go to the cemetery, you see the dead. That reminds you. How old are they? Look at them. Different ages. Last week I went to the cemetery. A person they were burying, he was in his 60s. He had cancer. Rahmatullah alayh. And then when they lowered him to the grave, And after the talqeen, after the salah and all that, I start walking around the cemetery, and I saw that when you see the graves and the tombstones, different ages. Different ages. So angel of death doesn't put you in different categories. You say, you know what, he's still young. It's not his time yet. So you find people there in their 16s, in their teens, 10, 9, 8, different ages, different colors, different backgrounds, rich, poor. As Imam Ali alayhi afdal salatu wassalam, Amir al-Mu'mineen, was sitting in the graveyard, in the cemetery, and he was holding in his hand, in both hands, one in the right, one in his left, 2 skulls, and he was looking at them. وَكَانَ يَتَفَحَّصَهُمَا. And he was looking at them, turning them right and left. So the companions came, and they were started looking at the Imam. What is going on? What is the whole story? They sat next to the Imam. Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, what's going on? What are you doing? He said, can you tell the difference between the slave and the king? Which one belongs to the king? Which one belongs to the slave? He said, oh, I don't know. Which one is black? Which one is white? Which one is for the poor? Which one is for the wealthy? We don't know. Can you tell the difference? No. The Imam said, the only thing that defines you, me and you, and everyone else is his amal. That is it. It's his amal. We are consumed so much in life that we forget what is waiting for us in the next life. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ. Dharra is an atom of good. If you do an atom of good, you see the result of that. Whether that is a sin, you see the result of the sin. A sayyi'ah, a dhanb. Khayran is for the good, and wa sharran is for the bad. You see the result of it. When they lay down you in the grave, the only thing that is there for you is your amal, and that is it. Now we might think, no, I'm so young now. It doesn't come to me, doesn't strike me. Not now. It's not for me now. You see, the best example for the role models, to the shabab, to the different ages is Karbala. In Karbala, you find role models like, for example, Qasim ibn al-Hassan. This role model for the teens, when Imam al-Hussein asked him, كيف الموت عندك? قال أحلى من العسل. For me, it's sweeter than honey, death. Other people, they were shaking. For example, Abu As was shaking. I said to him, why are you shaking? He said, I want to go back a moment so I can change the course of my life. That's why when you see when you read the history books, the last moments of the tyrants, read about them, the last moments, they're all trembling, they're all shaking. Why? Because they know what's waiting for them in their next life. They know. They're scared. They know because what they did wasn't just. Why? Because I want to fulfill the desire. Fill that void. That void cannot be filled. No matter what you do. No matter how many properties you have, no matter how many cars you have, no matter how many brands of clothes you have, that doesn't fill up. It will always remain empty. The only thing that can fill it up, what Amir al-Mu'minin Imam Ali said, is what? Turab, dirt. When they come and they put that on your body on the last moment. And the only thing that is left, the belongings from this earth, is that kafan. It's a piece of cloth, costs less than $20. Now we can buy it from Najaf, from Karbala. They wrap you in it, and that is it. خلاص, في أمان الله. How about my properties? La la la, nothing. Habibi, that's it. What am I taking in the next life? It's your amal. That was one of the Ubbad, Bani Israel. He came near this town, and he entered a cemetery, and he saw the graves. The ages that the graves had, one was 6 months, one was 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, different, very small ages. So some people 5 months, some people 1 month. So he finished going around, exploring the graveyard, and then he entered the town and he asked the people, he said to them, is there too many cemeteries you have? You have one here and the other. Where is the other one for the adults? They said, this is it. That's the only one we have. What do you mean? I saw people, they are in the ages of 1 and 6 months and 5 months and 1 year, 2 years. They all seem to be children. They said, no. We don't count how old you are. We count how much you did for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You might be in your 60s, but you did only 1 month solid worship, and that was it. We put for you 1 month. Khalas. The other people, they did more. We put it for them 2 months. We don't look at how old you are. We look how much you did for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we come and write it down. So from that 24 hours, how much did we do for Allah? Not for Allah, not for Allah, for yourself. The ayah that I recited in the beginning of the majlis, what does it say? The ayah says, فَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيَظْلِمَهُمْ وَلَكِنْ كَانُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ. Why did Allah put me in this misfortune? Why? Some people, when they musibah comes to them, they always say, why me? Why me? Habibi, first, this earth is for testing. Allah has made us to test us. And then to see who succeeds in life and who fails. Nothing is built for us to be in comfortable environment, and that is it. So, it was not Allah who wronged them, but it was they who used to wrong themselves. يَظْلِمُونَ أَنفُسَهُمْ. A tyrant can be a person who is a tyrant on himself, who is oppressing himself. How the dhunub that we do, the sins that we do. And I told you in the beginning of the majlis, be true to yourself. If a person lies to himself and lies and lies and lies, when he comes to the end, when he's near the end, he will realize that's wrong. Some people, they do. يختم الله عواقبهم بالخير. Some people know it's too late. And that's what it says in the Quran Kareem. When we bury them, what do they say? رَبِّ ارْجِعُونَ. Let me go back. After they see the reality, when they see they are throwing dirt on them and they burying them, they say to Allah, رَبِّ ارْجِعُونَ. Let me go back. كَلَّا. No. That's why when they asked Imam Zain al-Abidin, which one do you prefer, an hour of this life or the next? What did the Imam say? He said, this life, 1 hour of this life. I said, why? He said, so I can do amal, khair, for the next. The Imam is seizing the moment. Even 1 hour, he says, I need that 1 hour. I need that hour. That hour can build the next life. But for us, and I'm saying myself, how much am I gaining from that 1 hour? How much? 24 hours goes by. If you look in the end of the day, that's why Imam al-Sadiq said, لَيْسَ مِنْ شِيعَتُنَا مَنْ لَمْ يُحَاسِبْ نَفْسَهُ. It is not of Shia who doesn't do what? Muhasabah. Taking himself to account every night. When it's tax time, you go to your accountant. And when it's auditing time, you go and you look around the house. Where are the receipts? Yalla, get up. You get everyone to look for receipts. How much I spent? How much? Because you're scared of ATO. Huh? How much they gonna? Because you're scared of them. And the accountant, you call him 10 times a day. Habibi, no. Make sure now they don't get a dime from me. That is what? In this life. Imam al-Sadiq says, every night, hasib nafsak. If you don't do that, you're not a Shia. لَيْسَ مِنْ شِيعَتُنَا مَنْ لَمْ يُحَاسِبْ نَفْسَهُ. Every night, sit down and think to yourself, okay, today went by. What did I do? Well, Salat al-Fajr, I was too tired for it. Allah, Habibi. I woke up in the afternoon for breakfast. That was it. And the whole day just went. With me watching movies or whatever I did. Everyone can go back to themselves. Playing Fortnite. I don't know if that's still trending. But that is it. If you look back with that 24 hours, you see, what did I do? A Shia, when he sits down, when I say a Shia, I mean a believer. He sits down and he comes to himself and realizes that 24 hours, I didn't do anything good for myself. Tomorrow, let's put some for the next life. The salah I pray for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mustahabbat, I feel myself with mustahabbat. How much mustahabbat we have? The adhkar that we have. Quran al-Kareem. How many of us, we don't read the Quran until it's month of Ramadan? When you hear the Quran, they say, what is it? Fatiha? Is it Fatiha? Someone passed away? La habibi. Quran has to be recited. He's not a Shia who doesn't recite 100 ayah a day. 100 ayah. That is Surah Al-Waqi'ah, if I'll make it easy for you. And Surah Al-Ikhlas. That's 96 ayah in Surah Al-Waqi'ah. And 4 ayat in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Or other surah you can, 4 ayat, any other surahs. 100 ayat a day. How much of us, when it comes to that, we say, no, I don't have time for that. And I spend my time in what? Wasting it. Let's just hang around. That's an argil and that's it for hours. Every majlis you have, by the end of the majlis, say one hadith of Ahlul Bayt and Allah Azza wa Jal will bless that majlis. Even if that majlis is a majlis of argila. One hadith. So let's go back to this. What does it mean? لِيَظْلِمَ أَنفُسَهُمْ. To be tyrants on yourself. You see, when you recite Dua Kumail, we recite Dua Kumail every Thursday night. Layali al-Jum'ah. Next time when you're reciting Dua al-Kumail, tama'an. Look into it. Don't just recite it. See what the meanings are. When you recite, we say, Allahumma ghafir li al-dhunub allati tahtiku al-'isam. Allahumma ghafir li al-dhunub allati tunzilu al-niqam. There are sins that come and they demolish your life. They change the ni'mah into niqmah. Sayyid, I work 12 hours a day. Sayyid, I have no idea. I do a lot. But in the end of the day, I don't have anything. Why? Because your life is not blessed. If you look back, there's something going on. What have you done wrong? When your life is not blessed, some other people, they work less than 10 hours a week, but their life is blessed. Even the money they make, even though it's not that much, because it's blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not a niqmah, it's a ni'mah. Allah Azza wa Jal blesses that money, blesses that household. You might work for hours and hours, one traffic light, $400. Allah fi amallah. Yeah, that's how it is. That's what niqmah is. And then continues, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdhalu salatu wassalam says, Allahumma ghafir li al-dhunub allati tughayyiru an-na'am. Allahumma ghafir li al-dhunub allati tahbisu ad-du'a. Why there is a barrier? I do dua. Why? There is nothing coming down. Allah says, أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. Allah says, come to me 1 mile, I come to you tens of miles. But why is the dua is not going through? There's something. Habibi, when you recite dua, Kumail, and 1 hour later you listen to Jay-Z, of course. Hey, Habib, that's the reality. You see on their Facebook page, my favorite dua Kumail. My favorite singer, Fulan. My favorite book is Quran, and my favorite movie is a movie that's not, I don't want to go into detail. So that is why the dua is not accepted, because of the dhunub. Don't mix it. Can you mix into this water drops of oil? Can you mix it? Can you? Why? It doesn't mix. No matter how much you mix it and you sit down until morning and just go through it with a spoon. Oh, what's going on? In the end, you see, no, it doesn't mix. That's what is a dhanb with amal al-salih. We recite a dua, but our heart is not with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The tongue is saying in the dua, but our heart is saying something else. That's what is a hypocrite, is a munafiq. To himself. Now, I'm not talking about the community. To yourself. You're reciting, you say, Allahumma ghafir li dhunubi. When I go home, I'm going to do this. In your mind. Yani your mind is somewhere else. Your heart is somewhere else. Your tongue is saying something else. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء. اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها. That's why when you see the reality of sins, the dunya itself, when you take a chewing gum, 2, 3 chews, the flavor goes away. That's what sins is. The first time you sin, one of the ulama used to say, the first time you sin, your body shakes. You're scared. You're going into something new. Second time, you more comfortable. Third time, you say, who can I mentor? Is there someone I can teach? Fourth time, the shaitan can learn from you. The shaitan can learn from you. Why? Because you made it fine for yourself. It's okay to do it. It's fine. That's why you see it became a hobby. It's okay. Go through it. But if a person in his daily life changes the routine is changed. The routine today is for us to sit down together, the family, to recite Ziyarat Ashura, to talk about an imam for a few minutes. من لم يعرف إمام زمانه مات ميتة جاهلية. A minute or two. The other day I was asking in our school, Imam Ali College. It's back in Sydney. I was asking the boys, we had more than 200 teenagers. I asked them, when was Imam al-Hassan born? Give me the date. None of them. None of them knew. And I asked them about an actor. I don't want to name the actor. One of them said, Sayyid, I know. Sayyid, I know. SubhanAllah, you see, we have taken a part that is not in our best interest. It's not good for us. And we are so consumed by it. We might take a moment to think, but we don't act to it. We might think, we say, yes, he's right. What he's saying is right. We know al-mawtu haq, we know Israel is haq, we know all this, we know all that. Al-jannatu haq, al-naru haq. But there's no action. There's no action, there's nothing going to happen. Nothing. If you see people when they go to Karbala, Mashaya, I was there this year, I saw a teenager in his, I think he was 10 or 12. He was holding a flag of a country, I don't know about it that much. I said to him, where are you from? He said, Sayyid, we live in an island that is near Fiji. Near Fiji. We are 3 people on this island, Shia, not the whole island. 3 Shia on this island. Only 3 Shia. There are other Sunnis, but we are 3 Shia. Me and my father came, there's only 1 left in the island, Shia. He was 10 or 12, and he was walking. But you see, when you go to Ziyarat Arba'in, that's an example, you see the pure hearts, they're pure in the hearts. You take a moment, you see everyone is quiet, but they're walking. Why? Because his heart, his mind, his feet, they're all saying one thing. Let's go to Hussein, let's go to Hussein. And that moment, that time, when people go to Ziyarah Baba Abdullah, the whole life is transformed. The whole life. He goes to Ziyarah, he sees Imam al-Hussein's grave, he does the Ziyarah, he goes to Abu Fadl Abbas, and his whole life is transferred. Why? Because he comes to himself. He realizes, no, what I'm doing is wrong back home. That's what we have to think. No matter how old we are, we have to come back to our senses. Am I doing the right thing that benefits me in the next life, or am I doing something that is not? If it's not, as Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam have said, change the whole course of your life. Take a moment for the next one. There was a person who was praying salat in the mosque, and he was taking his time with the ruku' and the sujood, the prostrations and the dhikr. He was taking his time, and the people behind him, there was some of the gentlemen behind them were saying, MashaAllah, look at the ruku'. And 2 rak'ah took him more than half an hour. Look at that. Normally it takes seconds. So look at this salah. Look how he's praying. Look how he's going up and down. When he finished salah, he looked back and he said, you know what? I'm fasting today as well. Don't forget that. Put that into the account. Because the next life I want to take the reward from you, not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter where you are, the same salah is everywhere. That's why Imam Al-Jawad alayhi salatu wassalam said, do not be a friend of Allah in public and his enemy in private. Some people are like that. They're a friend of Allah in public, but they're his enemy in private. When it comes to themselves in the private, they are the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They do whatever Allah has made a sin, has made wrong. But when they are in public, the subha is more than 1,000 beads. And he's going, subhanallah, subhanallah. Why? Because in front of people, he wants to be praised by others, not by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he comes across these people, he says to them, Ya kafir, Ya mushrik, Ya zindiq. Well, what did I do? Well, go take the reward of your amal from the people, not from me. You didn't do it for me. Be real. If it was for me, it would be different. The salat al-layl that we pray, do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That salah, if it has one bit of riyah in it, one bit of riyah. They asked the Imam, what is riyah? He said, it's like an ant walking in the dead of night on a piece of rock. How silent is it? Can you hear it? No. That is riyah. Riyah is so delicate, it comes into your life. You don't know. You might pray salah, but the next day you say, yes, I prayed last night, salatul layl. Where were you? That is not what we asked to do. If the amal is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see the transformation within inside, from inside. And have all that is Allah has asked you, have all taqwa, all tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have that, being true to yourself, you see the success doors open, one after the other. But if you don't have that, no, it will not. Because you're not being true to yourself. That's why they said, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wassalam said to his companions that if you are true to yourself in your amal are accepted. They said, if it's not, let's ask Amir al-Mu'minin, if the amal is mixed, you want to do it for Allah and the people, is that going to be accepted? The Imam said no. They said if the amal is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said yes. If the amal is a little bit mixed with the approval of people and the hasanat you want from them to come to you, your amal is not. If it's mixed, even if it's mixed, it has to be purely, Imam said, it has to be purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the amal will be accepted. Going back to the subject of death, the Imam said that your breath brings you closer to death. That is the imminent truth. It will come. If we remember that every breath brings us closer to death, we have that all pointed out every day. We remember that, we will be much better off in our daily actions than the next day or the day before. If we remember, نَفَسُ الْمَرْءِ خُطَاهُ إِلَىٰ أَجَلِهِ, the Imam said. Every one of us has the expiry date. But the problem is, there are a couple of problems. One of them being, we don't know where we're going. We don't. None of us has given the time. We have no idea. If you have no idea when you're going, you have to be prepared every moment. Every moment you have to be prepared. That means if a person here says to me, say, I have a passport in my pocket, I'm prepared any time to go overseas. I'm not saying have a passport in your pocket, but I'm saying be true to yourself to a moment. If angel of death comes right now, you are prepared to go. That's why the Imam said, نَفَسُ الْمَرْءِ خُطَاهُ إِلَىٰ أَجَلِهِ. That every nafas you take, every breath you take, brings you closer to death. If you remember this, you are true in your actions. The amal is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can succeed in life. That's why it's Lady Zainab alayhi afdalus salati was salam, when she came to the body of her brother, Imam alayhi afdalus salati was salam, Aba Abdullah, she said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, khatabat Allah, she said, Ya Rab, this is a qurban from us to you. And it was for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, purely for Allah. That's why when she was asked by Yazid, how do you find what happened to your brother? How was it? She said, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. Everything was a beauty. Everything was nice. He said, we killed your brother, we killed your sons, we killed your cousins. Everything was a beauty. Yes, because it was for Allah. It's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's for a better cause. A higher cause. That's why one of the Aba Hamza, one of the companions of Imam Sajjad, came to the house of Imam Sajjad. Lady Sukaina came to him and she said to him, can you tell my brother Zain al-Abidin to stop crying? He's been crying for 37 years. Whenever they brought him water, he cries. Whenever they brought him food, he cries. So this companion, Aba Hamza, he came inside and he sat next to the Imam. Imam was weeping, he was crying. He said, Sayyidi wa Mawlai, 37 years have passed since your father was killed in Karbala. Isn't it enough? It's enough. Time has passed. Move on. The Imam looked at him and he said that Yaqub cried for his son, Yusuf. And he knows that Yusuf is still alive. He asked the angel of death. He said to him, have you taken the soul of Yusuf? Have you taken his ruh? He said, no, he's still alive. حتى ابيضت عيناه. How can I not cry when I saw the bodies of my family members on the plains of Karbala, cut into pieces? I saw 18 of my family members, my brothers, my cousins, my uncles, and I saw the body of Hujjatullah, my father, cut into pieces on the Ramda of Karbala, decapitated. How can I not cry whenever I see the faces of my aunties? I remember Kharabat of Sham, and I remember when they were taken captive, and I remember the sun was shining on the faces and was scorching their faces. How can I not cry whenever I see the kids? I remember Ruqayyah, my sister, a 3-year-old. In the dead of night, when my Auntie Zainab came to every girl and every woman in the last moments of the night for them to sleep. And then she went to the corner of the Kharabah to pray Salat al-Layl. Suddenly she heard these cries. There was a daughter of Hussein. She was crying, Abba, Abba, Uridu Abi. I want my father, a 3-year-old. It was dark. And she said, who are you crying? Why are you crying? What is it you want? She said, Ya Amma ana Ruqayya, Uridu Abi. I am Ruqayya, I want my father, Hussein. Ya Amma, inna abaki fi safar. Your father is traveling. She said, no, Ya Amma, I just saw him in my dream. He said to me, come to me, Ruqayya, come. So she started to cry and she was weeping so loud. So other daughters of Hussein, they all woke up and they cried. And the ladies, they all crying. One wants their brother, the other wants their sister, the other wants their father. The sounds of the cry reached the castle of Yazid. He woke up, he said, what is going on? Who is crying? They said to him, Ya Yazid, Hussein has a daughter. She is crying, she wants her father. He said, no problem, take to her the head of Hussein. So they came. In their hands there was a basin. Into the basin there was the head of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and he was covered with a fabric. They came into the Kharaba of Sham. They entered, and he came and he said, this soldier, who is it that she's crying and she wants her father? They pointed out to Ruqayyah. He came in and he placed that basin in front of her. She looked at it for a moment, and then she looked back at the soldier and she said, I'm not hungry, I don't want food, I want my father Hussein. He said to her, remove the fabric, remove it, and look what's inside of it, inside the basin. When she removed it, she saw the head of her father Hussein, a 3-year-old. And then she took the head of her father into her arms and she hugged it and she started crying out loud, يا أبه من الذي قطع الرأس الشريف، يا أبه من الذي أيتمني على صغر سني، من الذي شيب الخضيب بدماه، يا أبه يا أبه. And she cries and she said, Father, Father, until her voice was silent. Imam Zain al-Abidin looks back at his aunt. Ya Ammah, remove my sister from my father's head. Ya Ammah, she's sleeping, let her be. Let her be, she's sleeping. He said, no, Ya Ammah, she's not sleeping. She was just deceased because of the huzn for her father Hussein. Ya Aba Abdullah, Sayyidi wa Mawlai, أفاطمة لو خلت الحسين مجدلا وقد مات عطشانا بشط فراتي، إذا للطمت الخد فاطم عنده وأجريت دمع العين بالوجنات، لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون، والعاقبة للمتقين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلة. يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج، اللهم عجل فرجه، سهل مخرجه، اجعلنا من أنصاره وأودائه يا رب العالمين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة زينب وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته.